Good afternoon, traders. This is Chris Buss with your midday market pulse for Wednesday, October 14th. Okay, we've had a really busy morning. Let's dive right into it. I had sent out a couple of flash advisories late in the morning, giving you a heads up on what I was kind of seeing and preparing for. The market has seemed really heavy. Nothing catastrophic has happened, but when you see a 2-hour candle like this, it's got to grab your attention. So what I've done is adjust our holdings a little bit, and I'll get into that in a moment. But SPY right here is clinging to this trend line, and I would imagine that will ultimately fail and then come down here and just close the gap. And that will be the real moment of truth down here at 346.85 to, if that holds. And if it doesn't hold, then, we're coming down for more of a deeper correction. And notice here, I don't have it highlighted, but you've got a bear cross on PPO, and you've got a trend line violation on RSI. So those are supportive of lower prices. So on this longer time frame, we've got some bearish signals along with the price breakdown. So I think we've got to respect that, and it may be just nervousness heading into the election. Some people taking profits, maybe COVID relief bill related. I guess Mnuchin had some more or less bearish comments. I don't know. I'm not really plugged into the news wires and all that stuff. But the reason doesn't matter. That's the bottom line, that we've broken this support level. We're in the middle of the gap, and my expectation is that gap will fill. Here we are on the 30-minute chart. Fairly pronounced downtrend. Here's the bottom of the gap. There's another support level down here at 346, and then we've got a gap below. So this down move might be gap hunting to a certain degree. Same thing with the Qs. We've got a bearish cross here. We've got RSI coming down into this trend line where maybe it'll hold, maybe it won't. But I did not like this breakdown from this bull flag down back through support of 293. And that's where I got short with 293 puts for Friday. Just a short-term position. I will most likely close them out if price proceeds down to this gap and it holds. If it doesn't hold, then obviously I'll hold on to them and see if that trend line breaks and this gap fills. Zooming down, you see it quite clearly here. That to me was the key level, and we had pre-identified that this morning in our pre-work, that it needed to hold that 293 level and this trend line to, stay constructive. And now that it's below trend, my minimum expectation is for it to come down and test this gap down here at 289 and change. I haven't been paying any attention to IWM. Technically, it's still fine. It's holding 162. Has gone from, that was a $2 bar from 164 to 162. So that's got to hold. And if it doesn't, then it will come down here, probably test this trend line, and probably go to 160, which is really the bull bear pivot for this whole move. You wouldn't want to see price break below 160, because then it's got a clear path lower. So if you're in IWM, you're fine as long as 162 holds. And here it is on the 30-minute chart. You can see it, sitting right there on trend. Facebook, 273.20 has to hold, or else it's coming down here to the gap. I don't have that identified exactly. It looks like about 268-ish, 267.75, something like that. But you never want to see a bear flag go the other way. So the next, hour or two are going to be pretty critical here for Facebook. You can see PPO is broken down with a bear cross, and also we've broken trend with the RSI. Apple, I mean, it's holding its own. Got rejected here at 124.50, 125, and has since come back to this 120 level. In my mind, 120 is the key. I think if it breaks below 120, it's going to test this gap and possibly fill it, depending on, what's going on and how much selling pressure comes in. Tesla's had a real nice morning. Broke higher from this consolidation area. We had highlighted 450 as a place to get long. I wasn't watching it real carefully, but if you were, I think you would have had a chance to get in there if you wanted to. And now it's come up and is consolidating right below 460. And really, given that, the Qs are kind of breaking down and getting wobbly, this is showing some nice relative strength. So the next level would be to, pop 460 and then make a run to 475. I sent you a quick note. We were long Microsoft 222.50 calls. On the breakdown below 221 was my cue to get out of those. So I closed those for a nominal loss. If it comes down here and finds some support, we can always re-enter the position. But we had a nice little run in Microsoft, and there's no sense holding those calls 2 weeks out if this is going to pull back more. And this is what can happen. I mean, here's another, flag consolidation area, and Amazon has just let go completely, having a bad day, down 2.5%. Broke this level of this consolidation flag, dropped below 3,400, which was a key level, and now it looks destined to, slam into this gap. And I mean, honestly, it's probably going to fill. That's what gaps do. Price is hunting that gap right now, and it may get a little bounce off of that, but I expect that to fill given the downside momentum that's coming in. I have no idea why, but obviously people are selling it. Bearish cross, trendline violation on RSI, not what you really want to see if you're long. Google, same thing. Broke this 1567, which was key, and now has lost the trend line here. So at a minimum, 1538 on the downside, and most likely targeting this open gap below. Netflix, I mean, look at the power fade they put on this thing. Gapped higher, and they've been selling it ever since the opening bar there. So that's quite negative. The line it really has to hold is this 545, but once this trend line goes, then price is on the wrong side of everything, and just depending on excuse me, depending on the selling pressure, we'll decide if 545 holds or not. This big C had a couple of nice trades on that this morning. We had highlighted this flag, and I got long. Maybe you did too. I hope you did. Got a nice push up, and they've been bringing it back. I don't think this is a live chart. Let me update this. Yeah, see, there was a couple opportunities in here to get long, close it out, and then recycle. I did that. My second trade was more or less a scratch trade. I think I made a little bit, but now it's got to hold this 103.50, 104 area, or the potential is to come back down to the bottom of this channel. So I'm out of that now. Just, got bigger fish to fry than trying to chase this intraday trade all over the place. We got a nice reprieve in our gold miners, up, almost 2.5%. We got that scare yesterday when the dollar did a moonshot. Now it's back down again, and our miners are back up. So that's nice to see that working for us. I was, let's say concerned yesterday when it was down, 3% at one point. It did not look good, but it didn't violate it recaptured the 50 by the close, and now we're up, 2%. So that's looking good. We got a nice break today on NEO, got an upgrade. I don't know if it was JP Morgan or Goldman, but they upgraded NEO to with a $40 price target. Massive amount of call buying in the name. The last time I looked, we were at 4 times average call volume, and we're only at noontime here, and over 4 million in call premium. So everybody and their brother are now piling in. We've rolled up to November 26 calls, and those are already performing. Now, if you had hung with our November 21 calls this morning, and you still have those, well done, because it has not sold off with the market. And so what I would do is, at the end of the day, or whenever you think the run is over for the day, I would roll up. I would take that money to the bank. This is, a fairly volatile name, so I wouldn't want to be sitting out there with, a boatload of embedded gains on paper. Turn that paper profit into a bank deposit. Make sure you get paid on this move. Don't let them take it all back, and then we can roll up, and if everything goes according to plan, our November 26s will be in the money down the road. So that turned out to be a nice trade. There's one item, one name that I don't have highlighted here that we are still long, and that's that GRWG. It's not doing anything. It's not performing. Because of our entry, we haven't lost much, but I'm leaving that on just for the moment. Kind of got sidetracked with all this other stuff going on, so I'll take a look at that by the end of the day. It certainly hasn't performed the way that we had hoped, but it's not hurting us a tremendous amount either. So at this point, it's more or less a wash. This afternoon, I don't know what you got on, but respect those downside breaks. And hey, if they buy it back up and recover, no problem. Head fake, false breakdown, whatever you want to call it. But if you're loaded with longs, don't get hung out to dry on them because you think, you know, this is going to come back and all this other kind of stuff. Respect your levels. Get some downside protection if you haven't already, and so you won't get hurt. You know, this is not gonzo long time, you know, 3 weeks before the election. And with the downside breaks that we've already noted, you know, price is trying to send a little message to us that, you know, volatility is still out there and we can't ignore it. So we need to respect that. If you like the content, please hit the like button and maybe even pass along the link to somebody in your trading group so I can get some additional exposure if you think the content will help them. Certainly subscribe to the channel, that would be great. And if you have some time, check out the show notes for links to the blog site where you'll find a lot of helpful information, and also where to register for my content, where you'll get all this stuff sent directly to your email inbox. So thanks for your time. I hope you're managing this little volatility spike well. Maintain your composure. Keep your wits about you. Trust the levels. Respect the levels. And everything will work out fine. I will continue to shoot little notes to you in the afternoon as developments may occur. So I'll stay on top of it, and then you'll be on top of it. So anyways, have a good afternoon on the rest of your trading. This has been Chris Buss with Traders Profit Compass. Talk to you next time.